Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So before I start this video, please hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Only about half my viewers are subscribed, and that's on a good day. So if you could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Also, if you have an Instagram, be sure to drop a follow. Link in the description. Join Discord if you haven't already. And if you'd like to get additional perks like contact with me or access to my other more private mapping videos, go ahead and sign up for my Patreon. There are multiple options, so yeah. And now, without further ado, I want to talk about the Latino vote in the 2020 presidential election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Now, Joe Biden is a very strong candidate overall. He was one of the best options for the Democrats to run in 2020, and I think that Democrats who are concerned about beating Trump should be very, very happy that he won the nomination. So, yeah, Joe Biden is similar to Obama in that he has a lot of Rust Belt appeal and a lot of black voter appeal, but where he falls short of Obama is definitely with the Latino vote. Now, if we look at the Latino vote in 2012, Barack Obama won 71% of that. I won 67% of it in 2008. Now, Joe Biden is not polling that well. Joe Biden is polling, around 64, 63%. So basically 2/3 of the vote. Democrats generally prefer to get over 70% of the Latino vote. So that's not a good sign. And I don't think it'll be this bad for the Democrats, but I think that if we compare this to what happened in 2016, Hillary Clinton, she did pretty well. Not great. With the Latino vote, she did pretty well with the black vote, and I do expect Joe Biden to outperform Hillary Clinton with the black vote. But what Hillary Clinton completely ignored, she didn't even campaign in the Rust Belt. Like, she visited Wisconsin in April of 2016 and then said she had it locked down. Michigan really was not thought to be competitive, and Pennsylvania was, the one state that people thought Trump had a chance at, but again, Hillary Clinton didn't really think she was going to lose it. And to be clear, Hillary Clinton was the worst candidate imaginable for the Democrats to run for the Rust Belt. Now, theoretically, you could think they could have run Nancy Pelosi there. And, Nancy Pelosi, maybe she would have been worse, but Nancy Pelosi is not running for president. And she won't ever. So, yeah, Hillary Clinton, she got destroyed in the Rust Belt. She lost it by, basically the same margin as Ronald Reagan, or as Walter Mondale lost the white working class vote in 1984. And by the way, Ronald Reagan had the second biggest electoral landslide in U.S. history. So I'm not that's not good. And Democrats have had a history of winning even by running poor. Like in let's do a history lesson. 1988, Michael Dukakis did okay. He didn't win that vote, but he came close to winning. And then the 90s, Bill Clinton, he kind of was the Democrats' Trump. He brought them back to the Democratic Party for the first, in such big numbers, for the first time since, FDR. So that was pretty historic. And he kept that vote going blue. They voted for Al Gore, who is a staunch environmentalist. They went for John Kerry, and Obama actually did very well with them. He won even in Indiana. So yeah, and then Hillary Clinton just absolutely self-destructed with that vote. And I'm going to compare that to what could, in a worst-case scenario for Joe Biden, be the Latino vote. Now, Donald Trump is gaining a little bit of support with the Latino vote. I don't think it's significant. I don't think it'll be enough to flip a state like New Mexico, for example. But I do think that it is worth citing because, I made a lot of videos, and I do believe that Joe Biden will win the 2020 presidential election. But we have to talk about both sides of the argument. And one good thing about Donald Trump is that he is gaining support with the Latino vote. So I want to talk about how well he's doing compared to other Republicans. Now, he only won 28% of the vote in 2016. I think he'll outperform that. I think he'll get over 30% of the Latino vote. And remember, Latinos generally across the country, they tend to vote blue in California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas. In this region, they vote blue. But when we talk about Florida, a swing state, Democrats should be winning places like, do you want to let me click Florida? place like Miami-Dade County, it's a very urban county, very diverse, by, over 75%. But they're not, because the Latino vote isn't solid for them there. In fact, it actually favors the Republicans, which is really, really bad for them, because Democrats rely on minority support. Democrats are very, very diverse. They have the black vote going for them. They have the Asian vote going for them. They have a lot of the college-educated white vote going for them. But they need the Latino vote going for them in huge numbers. And they're probably going to still lose it in Florida. Hillary Clinton lost in 2016. Even, I believe, Barack Obama lost it both times he ran. So that's a given for the Democrats. And until they change something about their party, I think that these Latino voters who are coming from Cuba, coming from Venezuela, some from Puerto Rico, are generally going to be voting with the Republican Party. But they need to run up the score in Nevada, in Arizona, in New Mexico, in Colorado, in Texas. And for Texas in particular, I do think that the Democrats are going to win in Arizona very, very, I guess they're going to win big in Arizona this year. But I think Texas is still going to be a red state. Demographic trends do favor the Democrats, but let's talk about the Democrats winning Texas. And I get a lot of hate for this in the comment section of my videos, where I say Texas is a likely Republican state. The Democrats are not. They're campaigning in Texas, and they do have a chance at it. In fact, my model recently, they did it last week, gave Joe Biden a 31% chance of winning Texas. So that's a 1 in 3 chance. That is nothing to sneeze at. So I still don't think, though, that they have that the Democrats are capable of flipping Texas when they're running someone like Joe Biden, who is going to get the white working class back on their side, who is going to appeal to some anti-Trump conservatives or conservatives who are just sick of Donald Trump. But he's not going to be able to drive up a Latino vote in a worst-case scenario. I know in a best-case scenario, they turn against Trump. They vote. They get excited by people like MJ Hegar, for example, in Texas. Although I don't think that's going to happen. And the more congressional candidates, I guess, because MJ Hegar I don't think is a good candidate for the Democrats in the Senate. But they come out to vote and say, I don't love Joe Biden, but I'm going to vote for him. And that's how a lot of people feel, by the way, not just Latinos. But I want to talk about Latinos in specific in this video. So I think that they're a hard demographic to understand because of the misconceptions, and the misconceptions are that Latinos are Democrat voters. But a lot of them tend to vote Republican. I already talked about Florida, so I'm going to talk about how this could spiral out of control for Joe Biden. Now, Hillary Clinton won Colorado. It was pretty close. I don't think it'll be this close. I don't think it'll be that close this time around. She won New Mexico by 8, I believe. Yeah. She won Nevada by a lean margin. I do think that Nevada will be likely. I think that New Mexico will be likely. I think Colorado will actually be safe and vote to the left of New Mexico. But certainly, Donald Trump is improving with Latinos, and Joe Biden doesn't have a strong Latino base. And I think he could have fixed that by picking someone like Catherine Cortez Masto or Michelle Lujan Grisham, but he didn't do that. So he went with the peer pressure and chose a black running mate. And again, I have nothing against black people. I'm not racist. I'm not Latino, so I'm not biased towards the Latino voters. But I think that Joe Biden is kind of ignoring them. And that's a huge issue that he has to deal with, because he needs the Latino vote to win Arizona. He has to hold on to Nevada 100%. And if he wants to have a chance at winning Texas, he has to run up the score with Latinos there. So let's try and find a reasonable electoral map where the Democrats win without with the Latinos not turning out in big numbers for them. Right, so if we give the California, even without a ton of Latino support, Democrats are still going to win California easily. Let's assume that Joe Biden does well in the Rust Belt. Kind of makes these, maybe a little more narrow. So let's assume that he does well in the areas that he's supposed to do well in. And I do think that he will win in North Carolina. So, yeah. Let's give him all these states. And now we're going to give, I think we can give North Carolina. Yeah, we're going to give North Carolina. So now we're going to give the Republicans their state. Okay, not Nevada. So I should have actually filled this out beforehand so I could actually simulate this. So when you fill this map out, Democrats are already at 270. But I do actually want to talk about what could happen if Biden does poorly with the Latino vote. So let's so states that I've left blank are states that have heavy Latino populations. Democrats, maybe they can lose. Maybe, I don't think this is going to happen. Maybe they can lose New Mexico, lose Colorado, lose Nevada, lose Arizona, lose Texas, lose Florida. Right? They can still win, but they need to win in North Carolina. They need to win Wisconsin. for that to happen. And I do think that Joe Biden's going to win there. But it's easier for him to carry Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, even Arizona over North Carolina. So yeah, and this could spiral out of control for the Democrats really quickly. Like if they don't win the Latino vote, and they lose North Carolina, Joe Biden is not elected president. Or maybe they slip up in, Joe Biden doesn't campaign in Wisconsin. They lose. So they've left themselves no margin for error if they lose the Latino vote. And I don't think that they're going to lose these states. I think they're going to win all four of these states that are red. I think they're going to lose Texas, but I think they're going to win Nevada, they're going to win Arizona, they're going to win New Mexico, and they're going to win Colorado. Nevada and Arizona are still swing states. Colorado and New Mexico, not so much. But people are going to call me crazy and say, no chance that Trump wins Colorado or New Mexico. No one said that. If people thought that Hillary Clinton was going to easily glide to victory in Michigan in Wisconsin. So this isn't unheard of, and this could be the same thing that happens. Now, if everything goes as expected and as planned for the Biden campaign, they've got themselves a win here. And I think they're going to win Florida. So, boom. They have themselves an easy win here. So, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, I think that they're taking the Latino vote for granted. I think that they need to do a little bit more. Not like Joe Biden's certainly not doing as bad with them as Hillary Clinton did with the white working class in 2016. But I do think that this could be a worrying trend for the Democrats. So, guys, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate all of your support. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. I'm not going to mention all of them because I did at the beginning of the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.